How did Chacha end up coming to England, and how was his passport arranged?
Uh, reason Chacha came in the family, uh, four brothers, one sister, two of them, and the land holding was not enough, and they were tilling own land plus cultivating the land on rent. So my dad and Chacha decided that one of them go abroad to England. And it was agreed that Chacha will come. And the arrangement was made. There was a travel agent in Flore. His name was Mr. Sial. He got Chacha's passport. It was not valid for UK. It was valid for another country in Europe. And Chacha paid the travel agent. He arranged his flight to come over here. And although the passport was not valid, from 1948, under the Nationality Act, any Commonwealth citizen coming to UK, even the passport not valid for UK, they were admitted. There was no bar. So Chacha flew from Delhi to London and he was admitted. And from London he went to live in Smadhick, and he was living on Vicarage Road.
How much would have the flight cost? Did he come by flight or did he come by boat?
He came by flight.
Yeah.
And the flight, my flight was 1300 and he came 5 years before. I don't exactly know, maybe 1000 rupee or 1100 rupees, plus he paid the money to the travel agent for his obtaining the passport and doing all other paperwork. Chacha came to Smadhick. He lived in a house from village Sri, person Soon Singh, and in those days the weekly rent was 50 pence. So he settled there and he got a job in Dartmouth Auto Casting, number 2 foundry. And he continued to work there until he went back in 1956. Gashi also came. His passport was valid for Singapore. His passport was, application was processed by another travel agent from Bandara, Bhajan Singh. And I remember he paid, actually my father paid 3600 rupees to the travel agent, including the passport, flight, everything. So Gashi flew here in end of September and he went to stay with Chacha.
And was that considered a lot of money?
In those days it was a lot of money.
So was it quite...
With 500 rupees one can buy 1 acre of land.
Right.
And in those days the qualified BA, BT teacher salary was 50 rupees a month. So that was in those days.
So was the family able to easily afford it, or was it a struggle to get money to pay for passage?
For Gashi coming here, money was borrowed. some money was borrowed, I remember that. But after coming here, Gashi sent the money, and my dad paid it off before his death. Yeah. So that was how they came here. But at Smathik, where they were living, the landlord Son Singh, he was not nice to them. And one day he came from outside, and Gashi was sleeping in a bunk bed, and he lifted the bed and turned it over. Gashi kept his kept himself quiet. They didn't retaliate, and he woke Chacha up and asked him that it is not worth living here. So both of them, they had about £500, and then another person, Menga Singh from Jandiala, they talked to him, and jointly they bought 54 Oxford House in 1954, soon after Kashi came, and then they lived there. And when I came to 54.
What would the cost of that house have been?
House £900.
£900.
Yeah. And they paid, because they were still Kashi paying mortgage. They paid 600, and 300 was the mortgage on the house. By the time I came, then the joint owner, they moved to Derby, and Gashi bought their share from them. So after I came, then Mito came in 1959, July. And in those days, this is important, that those people, Indian people who had passport not valid for the United Kingdom, their family application were not allowed to proceed. So Gashi asked, because Mito passport was applied same time as mine, that why she didn't receive the passport. I explained to her this is the situation. I said the best thing is for you to apply for British nationality and get a British passport, which he did, and then sent another sponsorship with details of British passport, and then Mito got her passport, and she arrived in July 1959. British passport, British nationality application during 50s right up to the 60s, mid-60s. A person who is a Commonwealth citizen, after staying 12 months in United Kingdom and of good character, was granted British nationality, and the fee was £1. And then for the British passport, it was about £1 for the British passport. After Mito's arrival, then Moni again arranged Chacha Singh to come, similar system as Kashi's. But Chacha Singh came as a child of a person who went from here who had a British passport. Along with him there were three, another person from Jandiala, one from the Sandikala, and one from Teja Singh Sekho. All four of them came to our house. The person, he was from village Goda. They came by ship, and Chacha told me that they were stopped at Dover, and they asked the person, "You children are very grown up. What's their age?" And he said they are all under 18. And the officer asked why they are so tall. He said, "My four sons, I have 4 buffaloes, and each buffalo milk, ghee they had, and that's why they grown up so big." So all 4 of them was allowed to come in. So Pai came in October, November 1959, 54 Oxford Road. And he got job in Midland Motor Cylinder, Burmid Industry. Then Saab came in December 1960, before Jeeto came. Jeeto came on 23rd December 1960. And so that's how we 4 brother, Jeeto, Mito, arrived in the UK. We all lived in 54 Oxford Road. We bought that, the house was small, 3-bedroom only, and bought Grantham Road, which has 4 bedroom. And that was also bought for £900. Some money was spent on it. So we moved there. You, Paul, you, Jagbant, Sukhvinder Mindi, you were all born when we were living at Grantham Road. But your delivery was in St. Chad's Hospital on Hagley Road, and on those days, after the childbirth, the mothers were kept 8 to 10 days in the hospital. And Gashi and Mito, they were living there. Bimla's place of birth is, at Bimla's birth time, we were living in Oxford Road. But Raj, birth time, we were living in Grantham Road. Then Mito and Gashi decided to move back to Oxford Road. And Sarbjit born when they were living at Oxford Road. And I think it was 1965 they bought house on Edgbaston Road.
Why did they decide to move back to Oxford Road?
Mito decided to move back, and she didn't want to live. Also, Resham Kaur came early 1963 with Tiri, and so she decided, forced Gashi to move back.
So was there some friction?
Yes, there was some friction, in the family.
Right.
And
what was the basis of that friction?
basis of the friction, housework. You're not doing enough. I have to do more. This sort of friction. and also looking after the babies. That was the kind of friction at that time.
So was there a particular view of the men as opposed to the women in the house?
Yes, we all brothers, we have no friction. We were okay. And Gashi, he didn't stand up to Mito, and he went back to Oxford Road. So we continued to live there until at Grantham Road. Cherney came to the UK in October 1964. And before she came, Chacha bought 116 Sycamore Road as well. Then he moved out. I and Saab lived together until I decided to move to London to produce Lalkar, which Manjit was not happy about it, and she said, "We will move to Papa." And I said to her that I will come on the weekend, and she said, "No, that's not good enough." So when in '67 in September I moved to London, she moved to Papa on Middlemore Road, and Mindy, you all were enrolled into school on Brasshouse Lane before you were in school on Grantham Road and next to our house, in front of our house. And actually you was not at school yet. Mindy was not at school. Yeah.
I thought my first school was Cape Hill.
I came back in '68 from London. In '68 I returned from London, and I had a house which I bought on Grantham Road, and we moved from Papa to Grantham Road.
So there's two houses on Grantham Road.
On Grantham Road, one house,
Yeah.
and Jeeto moved to Papa's.
Yeah.
I moved to London, and Chacha moved to 116 Sycamore Road. Gashi was living in 14 Edgbaston Road. So when I returned from London, because the Lalkar was closed, then from Middlemore Road, I had a house in Grantham, Montague Road, and we moved in Montague Road house.
From Grantham Road?
No,
Or from Middlemore Road?
from Middlemore Road.
Right, so we never went back to Grantham Road?
No,
Right, okay.
no. I gave my half share to Son.
Right.
I don't remember how much it was. And from Grantham Road, from Montague Road, Jeeto, she was not happy living there because there was damp in the house. And she was looking after the house, and then she saw a house on sale on Sycamore Road. She noted the travel agent because Jeeto went to school up till 5th class, and and that travel agent was in Moseley, and in those days it was not appointment with the agent to view the house, and agent, you get the key for the house from the agent, and you view the house and return the key. And when I came from work, she said, I got the key to see the house. I have seen it. There is no damp. I like it. And I want you to go and have a look. So we looked at. It had smaller kitchen than Montague Road. And I said, it is better to stay in Montague Road. And she said, no, not good for children health. I said, okay. So we bought the house for 1,200 Sycamore Road. And after buying that, we built an extension to have a bathroom in the house. And we stayed at Sycamore Road. Then Jeeto saw another house, Hugh Road. And she also did